Hi, I'm Nathan with a few notes on syllabification, which is simply the division of words into syllables. Hebrew is always read aloud, or has been traditionally, never read silently. I've been reading it silently just because I can't figure this all out. The syllabification is complex, happens in a lot of different steps, but here's the basics as I understand them. Start with the English word like kaboom, and pretend for a second that this is actually a Hebrew word. Ka-boom. This actually exhibits the properties of a basic Hebrew word, two syllables with one open syllable and one closed syllable. It's simply called open and closed because the closed ends with a consonant and the open syllable ends with a vowel. So ka is open, ending in a vowel. Boom is closed, ending in a consonant. So, kaboom. The typical accent pattern is for the second syllable, or the last, to be emphasized. Kaboom, not kaboom. This is so common, in fact, this is the default position of the accent in a Hebrew word, for it to be on the last syllable in a word, that it's not even written in. You can just assume that it's there, and the text will just appear like this, and you know to pronounce it kaboom. In some cases, the first syllable of a word is emphasized, and those cases are so exceptional that the accent mark is written in there, kaboom, and it will be in the text, so you know that that's the exception to the rule. How about a different kind of word? If the English word cash bar were one word and were Hebrew, it would look a little like this, kash bar. Again, the default accent is on the second syllable, but both of these syllables, notice, are closed, both ending in a consonant, kash and bar. Kash bar. The default accent is on the second syllable, but again, if it were on the first, that would be marked, kash bar. Let's look at some Hebrew words that we already know, and we know these names. Adam, the name of the first human in the garden. Two-syllable word, open and closed, Adam. What about Abram from Genesis 12? Two-syllable word, both of these syllables are closed, Abram, and the accent is on the second syllable. But now let's take a closer look at that last one, Abram, and something that happens to the accents when the ending changes. So we know Abram, we know it's two syllables, and we know we accent that second syllable, Abram. But remember that in Genesis 17, God says to Abram, your name will no longer be Abram, but Abraham. The meaning is essentially from exalted father to father of many. But anyway, we've now got three syllables, and that accent mark wants to move to the last syllable, because the last syllable is almost always accented. So when you add another syllable and a new ending, that syllable, that ending, tends to get the accent. Abraham, not Abraham, but Abraham. So the accent has actually shifted from the second syllable to the third syllable, and when that happens, usually the other syllables get shorter to compensate. This is the process known as vowel reduction, which a lot of textbooks spend a lot of time on and break down what each kind of word, how the vowels reduce in each part. Basically, the principle, as I can figure it out, is this. Because that last syllable takes the accent, the other syllables want to get shorter so that the word doesn't take much longer to say. It sounds lazy, but we do the exact same thing in English, and in fact any language does, but in English we've turned cannot into can't for the exact same reason. We'll be seeing this a lot in Hebrew. The reduction of the vowels and the overall shortening of the syllables so that the word doesn't take much longer to say. In fact, Abram and Abraham take about the same amount of time to say. So vowel reduction simply means the syllables get shorter so that the word doesn't get much longer. At least that's the best I can figure it out. Now you've noticed that the B in that last slide has under it the schwa, and that's what plays a huge role in syllabification, whether that schwa is silent or vocal. That's a huge factor. It's extremely painfully complicated at times, and that's worth a separate look later on. For now, those are the basics of syllabification.